listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, as a avid consumer of the Baseball's Boring podcast, Adam Ottavino knows there is nobody I'd rather talk to right now than Adam Ottavino.
Perfect, I love that.
It's good, man. It puts a smile on people's faces, and when I say it, I honestly believe it. I sincerely believe it because I like talking to the people I talk to.
Yeah, no, you can feel it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So what we're talking now is the playoffs, and there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about, and I appreciate you coming on with Julian McWilliams a few weeks ago. But now we're sitting in the middle of the postseason, and one of the things I'm really, really interested in is the dynamics of postseason baseball. Because one of the things we've talked to guys about is the micromanaging of it, and the balance between micromanaging and just doing what you do, riding the vibes. You've been in a few of these. So, again, I haven't. You have. Talk to me a little bit about that, what the difference is.
I think as a player, you got to kind of just ride it and try to actually think less, maybe. I'm somebody who overthinks a lot of stuff, but now that I've been through it a bunch of times, I realize you just kind of have to ride the wave and go with the flow and just get whoever's out in front of you whenever that is. I think, as a manager or as a fan, there's obviously so much strategy and so much small stuff, so much minutia to break down. So that's the fun of it. But I think as a player, you almost have to suspend that a little bit in your own brain.
That's hard though. Because again, your instincts are, I want to be as prepared as possible, and then you have more information, you have more intensity, you have more everything. Is that hard to do exactly what you're saying? Is it just going out there?
Well, I'm not saying not to be prepared. Yeah. You got to be prepared, but because of the nature of the games and the stakes, stuff happens, stuff pops up that you're not going to be expecting. Even if you are prepared, you're not going to be expecting maybe to be in a game in the third inning or the fourth inning, or not pitch for 4 or 5 days and then be in a big spot, or as a hitter, matchups, shadows. There's a million different things that can come into play. So that's why I'm saying, I think you prepare, but then once the game goes, you just you want to play free and let it fly, and just do your best when you're in there.
As a fan, the fans, especially the fans who are just jumping in to baseball in the postseason, they look at it and it's like, oh my goodness, every single moment matters. I go back a few years ago, the Bryce Harper home run, about how we can pick apart that every single matter. As a player, does it feel that way? When you're in the middle of an at-bat, does it feel like I always want to make my best pitch, but I really have to make my best pitch?
Honestly, I don't. I think at a certain point, your pre-pitch mantra, your pre-pitch routine just kind of becomes who you are.
Yeah.
And you just have to go back to that, even in a playoff game, next pitch, I need to execute this next pitch. The stakes are there, so that's in your subconscious, and that's there. But all your training that you do during the year is supposed to help you be the same person out here now. It doesn't always work out that way, but that's the idea.
Well, that's the thing, though. When you say that, I'm like, that sounds great.
Yeah.
But it's these crowds, and I think maybe more even though the crowds remind you of the stakes, right?
Yeah, they do.
Because every game the stakes are high. Every game you want to get a guy out, but not every game the crowds are reminding you like they are, right?
Yeah, well, certainly not early in the game.
Yeah.
For example, I'm a guy who usually goes to the bullpen third, fourth inning. I'm out there first inning now.
Are you?
Yeah, because you don't know. I did pitch in a game recently, in the fourth inning, and you just never know. So from that standpoint, we're not letting it play out as much. We are aware that chaos is right around the corner and that you might be in there any minute, and and the crowd is on their feet in the first inning with 2 strikes and that sort of thing. So it's not business as usual. You try to make it that way mentally so that you feel like you're able to just free yourself up and play, but it's obviously not. The electricity in the ballpark
By the way,
begs to differ.
I walk out, we're sitting here at Citizens Bank Park. I do. My guilty pleasure is when I'm here is walking out to the bullpen, the visitors' bullpen. Last year it was Merrill Kelly. After he said, "Oh, it's not that loud," so I said, "I got to see what it's like." All bullpen. And we've talked to a bunch of relievers about different bullpens, but this bullpen is you're kind of in a shoebox, right?
Yeah, I mean it's one of the notorious ones. I mean, yeah, you're like animals in the zoo out there. They're right above you. They're all around you, and they're trying to disrupt you. But I think we kind of embrace it, and we, coming in here, what it's going to be. So it's actually kind of exciting to see what they come up with.
Yeah, anything good? There was a guy dressed up as I took a picture of him, the Hamburglar.
Yeah. The Phillies fans, they had some good costumes yesterday for sure. I saw some dinosaurs and a whole lot of people with the overall stuff going on and different face paints, and I mean they were really excited. They were juiced. They were doing their thing. We had a good time waving them by yesterday, and hopefully we can do that again today.
That's good though, but that's what it's all about. I love it.
Yes.
I mean, this is the thing, you have to embrace it, right? I mean, from inning one, you have to embrace this dynamic, because don't pretend you're like the too cool for school kid guy.
100%.
You probably have young guys who probably feel in that way. Like I'm not going to pay attention to them. No, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe. I mean, I certainly when I was younger, you're wondering how you're going to deal with that stuff. I remember in the old days, San Francisco bullpen down the line used to be a tricky one. They're doing the whoop woo on every throw, and they have pretty good information on you, and you don't want to overthrow the catcher and be embarrassed and that sort of thing. But at a certain point, you just, like you said, you have to actually embrace it and decide that you like it, and whether you do or not, you have to decide you do. So that's kind of where I'm at, and where all of our guys are at now is we like the hostility, actually. It's makes it more fun and feel more meaningful.
I like it. So come back to the scouting reports. I don't know if you're like me. I always love these stories after the story. I go back to Papelbon picking off Matt Holliday. Here's a 3,000-word story on how that happened. We had Eric Hosmer on the other day talking about throwing home on Lucas Duda, right? Ground ball to first.
Yep.
Are you like that way too? Do you love? I mean, you're in the middle of it, so you're living this story. But do you like that dynamic, like that?
I do.
Stories? Yeah. You got any good ones that jump out?
Not off the top of my head right now, I guess, but I mean, there's always something going on that maybe has been discussed months ago and then comes into play in a big moment. Me and McNeil were working on something last year for a long time that never came to fruition. Kind of like a little bit of a trick play that I would still like to put it into play at some point in a big spot. I'm not going to tell you what it is, obviously, but these are the type of things that we think about, and then you find out, after the fact. And that's why I love oral histories of big things, big moments, and stuff like that. Because the people that were on the inside, it's just so cool to hear about that perspective.
Yeah, I saw. You were in 2021. I was up with the Royals, Hunter Renfroe.
Yeah.
The immaculate deflection.
Oh, right? Wow, that was
were
crazy.
You in the bullpen for that?
I was. Yeah, I was right there. Yeah.
So, in case people don't remember that, I'm going to see if I can get this right. But it was against Tampa.
Yep.
And basically, it one-hopped the wall in right field, and it deflects. It bounces back, deflects off Renfroe and into the bullpen, which I had never ever seen.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go in the bullpen,
they score another
the Rays
run.
Score and probably win the game. Honestly. So take me again. Let's do the oral history of that play.
Well, I mean, we're sitting there in the Fenway bullpen. Obviously, it's got the short wall.
Yeah.
The ball's hit in the gap, right up there against the wall, and your instinct is just to get it in,
Yeah.
but you kind of realize that they're going to score there, and in all the panic, I think that Hunter and I think maybe Kike was playing center at the time, felt to get the ball in. The ball ends up getting knocked over the wall, and now nobody knows what's happening.
You guys looking at each other in the bullpen, you're like, what?
Yeah, because at first I thought maybe it was a 2-base error or something. It's baseball, so there's so many intricate rules that maybe not even the major leaguers know. My dad would get on me because he's a big rule guy, but
did he know right away?
Yeah, he would know, of course. I mean, he does a rule of the day, so he would know.
Does he really?
Oh yeah, he's got an email with thousands of people on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you give us some publicity?
I could, yeah, but I mean, I can get people on the list. But
he's always.
It's an email blast he does every day,
right.
but
okay.
I mean, then you come to find out that benefited us. So that's just like, wow, like certainly not intentional there, but it was so lucky, and everybody was just kind of dumbfounded in the moment, and people were coming to me as like a veteran guy, like, what do you got on that?
Really?
And I'm like, I've never seen that. So
Really?
yeah, that was pretty cool.
I think because they had to go to replay, I think.
Yeah, they had to talk about it for a while, and then surely after the game you're getting more of an explanation. But in the moment you're like, he would have scored. So that was a huge benefit to us.
And again, it's amazing. This is one of the great, glorious games of baseball. I'd never ever seen that. I mean, I hadn't seen it in spring training. I hadn't seen it in regular season. And here it is, the biggest play of the season where it happens. So yeah. I mean, it's just on. I'm also fascinated by your dad's rule of the day.
yeah.
What has there been one that jumps out?
Well, yeah, because he's always interested in like so like for example, like if a guy's stealing second, you can actually inside move to second and throw the ball directly to the second baseman.
Oh, okay.
As long as the guy's committed to going.
Okay.
So there's certain things that like he's always telling me to do, and that's one of them. Because obviously I give up a lot of stolen bases, and he's like, this is a way you could circumnavigate that if you know the guy's going and get the guy out.
Wow.
And he has there's lots of rules. He has like 5 or 6 rules written down for me, like just in case you need to bring this to an umpire. This is the actual rule and the number and everything.
Have you ever done it at all?
No, none of the ones. It just have never been in any of the weird circumstances. But yeah, he's just really into the rules, and I mean, he umpires, youth level.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's just educational stuff for his umpires as well.
I love what you yell. One time I was coaching a basketball game, and I had seen this rule about when you roll over when the ball is traveling, and it happened on coaching. And I yelled to the ref. I'm like, it was on TV last night. They're like, so I would imagine, be like, hey, my dad said it's a rule. So
well, a lot of times his rules will be inspired by the Mets game. So he'll be like, this happened in the Mets game last night, so here's the rule, and he'll break it down and send it out.
Well, I would like to talk to him about it.
Sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you so always.
Yeah, awesome. Of course.